College students were taking an examination just prior to the Christmas vacation. This was an exam that they hadn't looked forward to since they knew it would be a tough one. It was one student handed in his paper with the remark on it: "God only knows the answers to these questions. Merry Christmas." The professor marked the papers and returned them to the student. One of the messages on it was, "God gets an A, you get an F. Happy New Year." I don't think you'll find the test in this chapter quite as difficult. Even if you do, it doesn't matter since no one will know how badly you do on them. In the previous chapter, I gave you a few examples showing how conscious associations are a great help in remembering anything, such as a simple aid to your memory and yet so effective. The fact that those of you who learned the phrase "never believe a lie, never misspell the word believe" again proves effectiveness. The more important fact that you can retrain these simple associations over a period of years proves it still more. It is my contention that if you can remember or retain one thing with the aid of conscious association, then you can do it with anything else. That's my contention, and I intend to prove it with you. I also intend to prove it to you after you've learned the methods. I'm sure you'll agree that conscious association will be more useful and valuable to you than you ever imagined. They could be. If I were to tell you now that you're reading and studying the systems in this book, you would be able to remember as high as 50-digit numbers and retain it for as long as you like. After looking at it only once, you would think me mad. If I told you you could memorize the order of shuffling decks of 52 playing cards after hearing them called only once, you could think me mad. If I told you that you would never get in trouble by forgetting names or faces, or that you would be able to remember shopping lists of 50 items on a magazine, the contents of the entire magazine, or remember prices and important telephone numbers, or know the day of the week of any date, you would surely think I had flipped my lid. But read and study this book and see for yourself. I imagine that the best way for me to prove it to you is to let you see your own progress. In order to do that, I must show you how poor your untrained memory is. So take a few moments out right now and mark yourself on the test that follow. In this way, you will be able to take the same test after reading a certain chapter and compare your score. I feel that these tests are quite important since your memory will improve with almost every chapter you read. I want you to see the important improvement that will give you confidence, which in itself is important to a trained memory. After each test, you will find a space for your present score and a space which is to be used for your score after reading this particular chapter. One important point before you take the test: don't flip through the book and read only the chapter that you think will help you. All chapters will help you, and it is much better if you read from one to the other. Do not jump ahead of me or yourself. Read this list of 15 objects just once. You can take about a minute to do so, and then try to write them without looking at the book. Of course, in exactly the same order in which they appear here. When scoring yourself, remember that if you leave out a word, that will make the remaining word incorrect, or they will be out of sequence. I will remind you to take this test again after you've read chapter 5. Give yourself 5 points for each correct one. Book, astray, ashtray, cow, coat, match, razor, apple, purse, vanity, blind, frying pan, clock, eyeglasses, doorknob, bottle, worm. Write your score here. Write your score after chapter 5. Take about 3 minutes to try to memorize the 20 objects, like ear, by number. Then try to list them yourself without looking at the book. You must remember not only the objects, but in which number it belongs. You'll be reminded to take this test again after you reach chapter 6. Give yourself 5 points for every object that you put with correct number. 1 radio, 2 airplane, 3 lamp, 4 cigarette, 5 picture, 6 telephone, 7 chair, 8 horse, 9 egg, 10 teacup, 11 dress, 12 flowy, 13 window, 14 perfume, 15 book, 16 bread, 17 pencil, 18 curtain, 19 vase, 20 hat. Write your score here. Score after chapter 6. Text 3. Look at this 20-digit number for about 2.5 minutes. Then take a piece of paper and try to write it from memory. Give yourself 5 points for every number that you put down in its correct place or sequence. Understand, please, that the important thing is retentiveness, which you cannot test until you have read chapter 11. Write your score here. Write your score here. Imagine someone has taken 5 cards out of a shuffling deck of playing cards. Now the rest of the cards, 47, are called off, to which you just shoot once. Could you tell by memory not called which 5 were not called or which 5 were missing? Let's try it. Look down at the list of 47 cards only once. After you've done so, take a pencil and jot down the names of the 5 cards that you think are missing. You must not look at the book while you are writing. Don't take more than 4.5 minutes to look at the list of cards. I will ask you to take this test again after you have read and studied chapter 10. Give yourself 20 points for every missing card. Jack hearts, ace, diamond, king, heart, 7 diamonds, card 10, club, jack, spades, 3 spades, 9 hearts, 7 hearts, queen hearts, 3 diamonds, 2 spades, ace clubs, 9 spades, 4 clubs, 5 hearts, 3 hearts, 9 clubs, 10 diamonds, 8 spades, 5 spades, 8 spades, 6 diamonds, jack diamonds, English clubs, queen clubs, 7 spades, 7 clubs, 2 diamonds, king clubs, 8 hearts, 6 spades, 4 spades, queen spades, 3 clubs, jack club, 6 hearts, 4 hearts, 10 spades, king diamonds, 10 hearts, queen diamonds, 8 diamonds, 5 clubs, 2 clubs, 5 diamonds, 2 hearts. Write your score here. Score after learning chapter 10. Take about 6 to 7 minutes to look at the 15 faces and names, pictures here. Toward the end of this chapter, you'll find them pictured again in a different order without their name. See if you can get it. See if you can't give out the right name to the right picture. I'll remind you to take this test again after you've read through. Memory test. Miss Sister, Mr. Gordon, Mr. Hunt, Mr. Enlof, Mr. Donahue, Miss Palmet, Mr. Dickinson, Miss Ralston, Mr. Shaw, Mr. Koransky, Mr. Zachariah, Mr. Tolman, Miss Carson, Mr. Smolowitz, Mr. Regan. Take several minutes to look at this list of 10 people and their telephone numbers, then copy all 10 people onto a piece of paper, close the book, and see if you can write the telephone number next to each one from memory. Remember that if you were to dial one wrong digit, you would get the wrong party. So if only one digit in the number is wrong, you get no score on this particular one. I will remind you to take this test again after you have read through chapter 19. Give yourself 10 points for each telephone number that you list correctly. Baker, TA53174, Taylor, RH38295, Shoemaker, JU60746, Dentist, WA46904, Mr. Brooklyn, CO51127, Banker, CSU94281, Mr. Carpel, RE89714, Doctor, TA71015, Mr. Goldberg, WA68222, Mr. Corrigan, CA94132. Write your score here. Do not feel discouraged because of your poor marks that you may have received on foregoing tests. I have given them to you for a definite purpose. First, of course, as I stated above, do this book also to show you how unreliable and untrained memory really is. It does not take a lot of work and study to be able to get 100% on all these tests. I like to refer to these systems in this book as the lazy man's way of remembering.